Hello, my name is TJ Manolis, and you're watching this if you're an entry-level paintball player looking to purchase a paintball gun. I'm comparing entry-level markers of a Spyder, Kingman Spyder Victor and a Tippmann Custom 98. Um, I've been playing paintball for 16 years now. I started at the age of 14 playing with my friends in the backwoods here in Alaska. Um, My first marker that I purchased was a Spyder SE. It's same basic construction as a Spyder Victor, but had a couple more upgrades to it. Several of my friends also bought the Tippmann Custom 98, so I got to see both of them in action as I played against them. As I progressed in my years, my friends kind of moved on from the sport, but as they moved on, they donated their or gave their gear to me, and that kind of enabled me to take more players out, more friends out, introduce more people to paintball. This eventually turned into a side business called Fear Not Paintball. I started that about 7 years ago. At the early stages of the business, I was taking any kind of marker I could get my hands on, especially quality ones like the Victor or the Tippmann, just so that I could provide a good quality experience for my customers. Part of owning a business, part of owning your own marker is making sure that it operates efficiently and correctly and reliably out on the field. You don't want to be running into issues out on the field where it's not firing. And so to ensure that it works correctly, proper cleaning is very important for the users. They need to make sure and go through the marker every time after play, clean it, make sure all the paint and gunk is off of it, lube the O-rings and that kind of thing. And that's really where the rubber meets the road between these two different markers. They both operate the same on the field as far as speed, the ball coming out of the barrel, accuracy, and reliability. Where they really differ is in their construction. I'm going to kind of touch on those points here. The first one I'm going to touch on is the Spyder Victor. This marker is extremely easy to clean. You can see here that there is this blue pin. You pull that and this yellow primary bolt slides out the back of the marker. Then you're able to slide a squeegee in from the back of the marker all the way through the barrel to clean out any paint if you happen to bust a ball in the barrel. If you unscrew the green cap on the back side here, you're able to pull this whole assembly out, the spring and the secondary bolt. You're able to pull that whole thing out. To clean markers, you usually have to run it under warm water. So you take your marker now, you run it under warm water, washing off any residue paint that could be on there. Dry it off, lube the O-ring here on the secondary bolt, and then slide the whole green assembly back in. Make sure and tighten the back stopper down, and then you slide the yellow primary bolt back in, and then slide the pin in, and that locks these two bolts together, and now the marker is operational. The second marker I'm going to take a look at here is the Tippmann Custom 98. This marker is designed in two halves, basically. So this is one half of the construction. The other half has been removed here. The way this is held together is there are 5 hex screws. One that goes there, one that goes there, one goes there, one goes there, and one goes there. And then one goes there. So I guess there's 6 actually hex screws that hold the case half together. Once those are removed, you pull the top half off. First thing you want to be cautious of is this yellow part, the backer plate that holds the spring attachment in, which drives your marker, your primary bolt for this marker. You make sure that stays seated in this case half. If it doesn't, it'll spring out and shoot across the room. You have potential of losing some of the pieces. Other areas of this marker to look out for, as you're pulling the case halves together, the trigger assembly and all of the tension that holds the trigger assembly together is held in place by these little blue pins. These pins have a tendency to stick on either half of the case half, and as you're taking the case halves apart, make sure that you have all of those pins, because each one is integral to the reliability of this marker and the usage of it. Those will have a tendency to stick to each side, and as you pull it apart, they might fall out and roll around. Another piece to be looking out for is this green little spring up in here. This holds the ball feeder attachment onto the marker. Tippmann did this so that they could easily slide a squeegee in and run it through the barrel in case they had a break in a barrel. Well, this detent here is so small that as you pull the case halves together, that spring might slip out of its detent and then spring across the room, and it's very, very small, difficult to see, and if you happen to lose that one, you've really lost it, and it'd be difficult to find. The last piece that I'm going to mention here is this orange piece. It's the ball stopper. It keeps the paintballs from double feeding into your barrel, and that's usually when you get the breaks in your barrel. When you go to clean this marker, as with the Spyder, you're going to be cleaning it with warm water. Careful when you tip this gun over or move it around after you've gotten it apart. This rubber stopper is only held in place by the two case halves. There's nothing else securing it in there. So you got to make sure and be aware of that. Keep track of it as you take the gun apart and during the cleaning process. Each one of these little tiny parts costs about $5 to $20 depending on which one it is. So you need to make sure and keep track of them. And it's also make sure that your gun provides a reliable experience for you out on the field. Like I said, these two markers, they operate the same pretty much on the field as far as accuracy, velocity, and reliability, but the main point is where they differ is in the finer points, the construction, the cleaning, and that's the part that the entry-level players really are not aware of getting into this. And so I would recommend the Spyder Victor over the Tippmann 98. The cost is about the same. You can find them between $70 and $100 pretty much any location you go to look for paintball gear. So I hope this video helps in your search for the paintball gun for you.